Trinidad police close to nabbing whoever is responsible for making death threats against its colleagues. And in sport, the West Indies captain laments his side's batting meltdown in the fourth ODI against India. I'm Ricardo Roberts and this is Caribbean in 10 for Tuesday, October 30th. I'll be back with the details in just a moment. Trinidad and Tobago's National Security Minister Stuart Young says lawmen already have several leads as they probe death threats against police officers involved in a shooting that led to the deaths of 5 men last week. He made the disclosure as he joined Police Commissioner Gary Griffith in warning that threats on the lives of law enforcement officers will not be taken lightly.
You know, this type of mischief, this type of attempt to instill fear in our law enforcement officers, it is not something that is going to be tolerated, and we are going to utilize all of our resources in the fight against this type of behavior.
Last week, police shot and killed 5 men in Laventille after they say they were fired upon. On the weekend, the police service said it received threats of bombs being planted at police stations across the country. Today, Minister Young said law enforcement is close to finding the perpetrators.
I don't want to say too much more with respect to it. It is currently under investigation and we have some good leads. So I expect us to be able to tackle that particular incident head on.
He also told reporters that an investigation was launched into a viral video involving armed men firing shots into the air, asking the Police Commissioner Gary Griffith whether he's ready for war. Having received a copy of the video, Young said it was put into the hands of law enforcement agencies for an investigation, and it was determined that it originated from another country. The video emerged following the death threats made against the officers, and Minister Young said it has instilled fear in the minds of citizens.
That report from Guardian Media's Ria Rambali. Now, a week before Antiguans and Barbadians vote in a referendum on replacing the London-based Privy Council with the Caribbean Court of Appeal, an opinion poll has found that most residents approve of the switch. The poll, released today and conducted by the Barbados-based Caribbean Development Research Services, Inc., that's CADRES, found that 62% of 800 people polled during the October 12th to 14th period supported making the Trinidad-based CCJ the island's final court, either now or in the future. For the referendum to succeed, a 66.6% yes vote is required. Now, 17% of those polled said they did not support the move, and 22% said preferred not to say how they felt. Now, CADRES said the poll was devoted to exploring the referendum issue and sought to understand how Antiguans felt about the CCJ in principle and also how they planned to vote on November 6th. Now, among those who supported the CCJ, the most compelling reason was the suggestion that the court was cheaper to access, while those who opposed it thought it would be more open to political influence. Now, CADRES noted that the views of Barbadians were not canvassed in this face-to-face survey because of the timeline for completion of the poll. In Montserrat, the motion of no confidence against the government of Premier Donaldson Romeo was defeated as expected yesterday after all 5 government legislators voted to keep the 4-year-old administration in office. Political observers had expected former Agriculture Minister Claude Hogan, who was fired by Romeo last year, to vote in support of the opposition, but he did not. opposition member Dr. Ingrid Buffon, who had tabled the motion against the government of which she was once a member, said she wished the ruling People's Democratic Movement well in the next year in office. But she cautioned Montserratians to vote wisely next time around and not make the same mistake. Premier Romeo had dismissed the arguments made against his government by the opposition as he defended his tenure in office. Guyana's President David Granger is headed to Cuba for a series of medical checks. An official statement issued today by the Office of the Presidency said Granger, who is accompanied by his wife, is to undergo medical investigation in Cuba. Granger confirmed that he had traveled to Trinidad and Tobago on 2 occasions for a medical checkup and had been given a clean bill of health in May. But the president said that on his return to work, he started to experience certain persistent symptoms, and a return to Trinidad for further tests revealed symptoms that needed further investigation. The 73-year-old Granger said he believes he can get the best advice in Cuba. He is due to return home before local government elections scheduled for November 12th. And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next.
Junior Gong Mali has another feather in his producer's hat, as he will be the executive producer for the next album of the accomplished Third World Band. The stalwart reggae band recently released Loving You Is Easy, their first single from their upcoming album.
Every wind that blows, every wave that rolls, with the coming and going of the tides. Everyone that sees is everyone that knows, because my love can't hide.
We didn't know that we would be doing this again, but look, we are here. And you can never tell where we go from here, but we open for anything, touring, recording, whatever may come, because Bouyon is in our blood. That is what we do, and we have a responsibility to represent Bouyon music in a big way.
A disappointed West Indies captain Jason Holder has limited his side's batting meltdown in the 4th one-day international of the 5-match series against India. He said it was unfortunate, especially coming on the heels of superb performances in the first 3 matches. The Windies suffered a record 224-run defeat to India in Brabourne Stadium yesterday after they were dismissed for 154 in pursuit of a massive 378. India now lead the series 2-1. Holder said the Caribbean side has not given up hope of at least squaring the series now.
Really didn't help us. Set us back quite early. 2 of our better players, and then we just never really got any momentum in the middle. Credit to India. Thought they bowled reasonably well up front, and it caused trouble. It's just a matter of being a bit more consistent. You've got to take a gamble up front to get their wickets. I reckon if you get their wickets, you're always in with a shout. Obviously, quality players, and put some pressure more in their middle to lower half, who probably hasn't been tested as much as their top order has been in this series so far. So, cricket is played on the day. We just go out there to play a clinical game of cricket. It just didn't come off today. And hopefully guys can regroup in the next couple of days and come back stronger.
Switching sports now, Bermuda's former world champion triathlete Flora Duffy appears to be on the mend after a foot injury wrecked her 2018 season. The 30-year-old was forced to withdraw from 3 of 8 races on the ITU World Triathlon Series calendar after leading the point standings at one stage because of a tendon problem, which ended her hopes of becoming the first woman to win 3 consecutive world titles. That's Caribbean at 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.